Alrighty, so here are the pictures showing the differences in your frames between his preview 2 and my old modified O1 shader and my new O1 shaders. Now as you can see, this one here is his preview 2, completely untouched, and in 1.7.2 you're getting about 66 frames per second. Not too shabby, and this is on a GTX 770. Now, when we go over to the next one, this one here is showing what the modifications that I have done to his preview 2, which is enable his parallax water along with the smoothness of the volumetric clouds. And there is a huge frame drop from 66 all the way down to 48. It's massive. Now, this one here was my old O1 shaders, and as you can see, 71 frames per second. Yes, this doesn't have parallax occlusional mapping, nor does it have the parallax water or the new specular, but even still, 71 frames as opposed to 66, which is in his new one, it's a bit of a difference. Now, on to my latest. Now this one here is basically what I like to call my light version, which has my old style water from the previous modification, and also has the roughness of the clouds, so they don't look very clear behind blocks. But it still does have the parallax occlusional mapping and the new specular, plus all the other little tweaks that I've added. And as you can see, I haven't lost any frame rate whatsoever. Now as of making this video, I have noticed that the shadows were much better in my old modification as opposed to the new one. So I'm going to have to go back and tweak it a bit more and fix that up. Now, going on to the next one. This one here has the parallax water enabled in this one, but still has the fuzziness of the clouds. And from there you lose about 6 frames enabling the parallax water. Now this is going to be a personal choice as to whether you prefer to have parallax water and fuzzy clouds, or you prefer to have the more clear clouds behind blocks and go with the old style water. Because as you can see, there's virtually no change in the frame rate. Both changes takes away about 5 to 6 frames, and if you have both the parallax water and the new smoothness of the clouds enabled, you're down to about 60 FPS as opposed to 70. So with all those new changes, I've only lost like 10 frames per second, which is amazing. When you compare that to his preview 2 with the volumetric clouds and the parallax water, he's getting about 7 frames less than what my modification of O1 is getting. And this one here is still the same modification. The only thing I've changed is disabled volumetric clouds and put back his 2D clouds. And for some reason there's a huge difference. There's like 14 frames per second difference. So I don't know what's going on with the coding in preview 2 to cause such a dramatic drop compared to only 10 frames with mine. But yeah, to go from 67 down to 53 just because of volumetric clouds is huge. And going all the way back to the start, from 66 frames to 67, there's basically no difference enabling parallax water. Surprise, surprise. So I'm not quite sure why he didn't actually leave that in, considering 66 frames with absolutely nothing touched and 67 with parallax water turned on. But anyway, you be the decider, depending on which one you prefer. Whether you prefer my O1 modification or Preview 2. Right, as you can see, this is my ultimate version of the shader with the fixed clouds, parallax water. Now, I've got a couple of variations basically to try and save on frame rate. So one of them is this one. Now with this one, I've still got the fixed clouds, but I've gone back to an old style water, which is the one I was using in my previous modified version of O1 shader. Doesn't look too bad still. Looks quite nice in waterfalls. But without the parallax water and the old style that you used to have, it does save you some frame rate. But with the new smooth on the clouds, you do lose a little bit of frame rate with that. Now with this one, I've still kept the parallax water in. But what I've done is I've gone back to the old smoothing of the clouds. As you can see, everything's sort of a bit fuzzy around the tops of the blocks where the clouds are behind. This will also save you frame rate, almost the same as changing the water. It depends on if you prefer the water or the clouds. Now, actually, there was a slight bug when I had to change the clouds. I lost some of the specular on the water, like the reflection. So now I've actually got the clouds reflecting in the water on the parallax in this one, as opposed to not having it. All personal choice. And lastly, there's this one, which has the old style smoothing of the clouds and the old style water. But all of these still have the specular and the parallax occlusional mapping still in them. See? And still has that. Plus the better torches, the better lighting when you're inside when it's raining, and the better rain effects. So really you could have all these as, you know, ultra, medium and light. And once again I've got my little extra bit of coating to make it look a bit wavy. It's not perfect. Same with my vines. So yeah, what I'll do is end the video here. And that's about it. So catch us all next time. Bye bye.